Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, what would it take for the FNM to unite? We take a look at alternative energy sources, and we go jetpack flying with Sawyer Boy. Welcome to our news. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, as the race for FNM leadership continues, the divide hasn't necessarily diminished either. But would the party infighting be too much to fix regardless of how this month's convention plays out? Well, one of the people who has been ratified as a candidate for the party is calling for supporters of both leadership contenders to remember that tearing each other down won't help the party when it's time to hit the campaign trail in 2017.
We should be discussing the issues that are important and pertinent to the average Bahamian, and yet we're focusing exclusively on internal fights. That's a problem.
With the FNM's convention just next week, it appears the gloves have come off between FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis and his challenger Loretta Butler Turner. But while Johnson says competition may be healthy, here's where the issue is.
The problem with that is now you have people who are lining up and they're taking shots at each other. We're being divided. We're being divisive in an internal party contest that is allowed by the constitution of the party. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Several well-known FNMs have come out in support of their pick for leader. There's FNM founding father Maurice Moore and former FNM cabinet minister Tennyson Wells, who have publicly voiced their support for Minnis. And then there are names like former Deputy Prime Minister Frank Watson and former FNM leader Tommy Turnquest, who've thrown their support behind Butler Turner. But come July 29th, after ballots have been cast and a victor emerges, can Butler Turner and Minnis coexist as a team within the FNM?
I'm hoping so. I'm cautiously optimistic because, and I don't like to talk about internal party business too deeply, but I can clearly see, to be honest with you, where some of the discord and some of the ill feelings that are being created as a result of the divisiveness that's going on. I don't know if people are just going to be able to walk away and sing Kumbaya. I'm just being real about that. And that's very scary. That's very scary for me personally. That's very scary for the state of the party. And it's very scary for the Bahamian people who are looking for an alternative to the PLP.
He said the party has been searching for unity for more than a year, but hasn't been able to secure it. And with more and more political parties forming, some have considered the FNM's infighting a sign that the PLP may easily sail back into office. In the end, Johnson said, here's what's most important.
When you come into frontline politics, we're supposed to have altruistic motives. We're supposed to be here because we want to be elected officials. Elected officials, another term for elected officials, is public servants. As it now stands, we don't look like we're acting in the best interest of the public, and we don't look like we're serving that very same public either. It's just personal agendas, selfish motives, and what I want to be executed, what my execution is in this party. I want this. This is my man. This is my woman. This is what I expect. So I'm banging hard for this person to win, for this person to lose, because it has something for me in it. This is what has to stop across the political spectrum, because I'm sure it's present in the PLP. We have to be about the Bahamian people, or we need to go home.
Well, in just over 1 week, the Free National Movement will host its annual convention where all leadership positions in the party will be up for grabs. However, Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts says it is clear that the wounds of the FNM are very deep.
They seem to have some major problems, in particular the remarks of I call the Gang of Six, that letter that they wrote about their leader. I have never in my many years of politics ever seen such a destructive communication written on anyone in politics.
Roberts says he is interested to see what the outcome will be of the convention, given the current divide in the FNM.
It is going to be interesting to see whoever wins the FNM race, what is to transpire thereafter. And I think there is going to be it's likely to be some partying of the ways. Because as a friend of mine always say, if Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, and Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
The PLP chairman says he believes controversy within the FNM will have a huge impact on the public perception of the party in the run-up to the next general election.
I think that a divided opposition, a splintered opposition, does not convey to the Bahamian people that they can form a government that will work in their interests. Because if they cannot perform and operate in opposition in a united form, how could one expect for them to do so if and when they become the government? I believe the Bahamian people understand and are intelligent enough to be able to make that determination when the general election comes.
Again, the FNM convention will be held in the last week in July. Well, after receiving assistance from the Bahamas Entrepreneurial Venture Fund, one young man has turned his vision into reality within the water sports industry. Meanwhile, another Bahamian man has chosen an unusual path to success. Tamiko Sawyer, also known as Sawyer Boy, using only his smartphone and his creativity, has found a way to make a name for himself while getting deals and thousands of social media followers. While trying out the new jetpack flying adventure, we got to know the man who is Sawyer Boy. We took to Jetlink Adventures on Cable Beach, where I spent an afternoon with one of the country's premier comedians, Sawyer Boy. What better way to have a convo than near the water, right? First up was Sawyer Boy himself.
Yeah, but do this. Scared.
It was all good until he wiped out.
You need arms. Yeah, your arms. It's good if you have strong arms. I don't have strong arms. That's why I keep my shit on. You ought to show right off. It's a show right off because you get biceps and stuff. Yeah, but you should be good.
And then it was my turn. I got strapped up and got in. Eventually, I got it. Jetlink Adventures was created by a young Bahamian entrepreneur. His name is Lincoln Deal.
I've always had a passion for the tourism sector after working with the Ministry of Tourism. And so instantly when I came across the product about 6 years ago, instantly I said, this has to come to the Bahamas. Not just because of the potential of it, but really and truly, it's something different. It's something new that visitors that come to our island can experience. There's a constant complaint from tourists that there's a lack of activities in the Bahamas. And so Jetlink Adventures strives to be a diversification of the tourism sector in the Bahamas, by offering new products and services and trying to expand our offering.
But we still wanted to know, who is Sawyer Boy?
Sawyer Boy, I think I just realized this last week. Sawyer Boy is my alter ego. It's the person inside of me that want to say a whole lot of things, but yeah, like you get plenty of people who want to say some things but scared to say it. So Sawyer Boy is, yeah. Sawyer Boy is me when you get comfortable around me. Let's just put it like that. The people who comfortable around me, I guess they knew Sawyer Boy from years and years ago. Now that everyone getting comfortable and I getting comfortable around everybody, they seeing the real me, this me.
Social media, he said, has made his career. It's grown to the point where he's now being paid to host shows and star in commercials. But as a child, Tamiko Sawyer wanted to be an actor. And at one point just a few years ago, he said he found himself upset, not with anyone else, but himself.
We started Sawyer Boy TV Mother's Day 2013. So it's been 3 years now. And from 2011 was me looking for my purpose, trying to figure out what it is other than just being a good daddy. Because I got a dad.
He's now a father of 3.
Full-time daddy.
How does that make you feel every day
I
waking
love my kids, boy. I love my kids. I love the mere fact that I could grow them up the way they should be growing up. Let's do as much as I could do and not carry them down a certain road that I see a lot of kids going. Because of the mere fact that they ain't get no one there who really pushing them or showing them that that's wrong. Or do it this way, don't do it that way, or you end up this way. So yeah, that's me.
And for him, it's all about keeping it 100% Bahamian.
I doing what I like to do, just making people laugh. Now people are saying, they ain't just calling me immature for nothing. You're so immature! No, I making money now. You want $20 for gas? No. No, because I immature. But yeah, I loving it right now, boy. I get to be me.